Hey guys, Brian Henney here, back to talk about the presidential primaries going on today, this time about the Republican side of things. They've only got two primaries today because Idaho already voted. So today the Republicans are going to be fighting over Arizona and Utah. So those are the two Republican states, or the two states voting on the Republican side today. I'm going to talk a little bit about each one and what my thoughts and predictions are for each one, and then talk about the impact I think it will have overall on the Republican nomination for president. So here I'm going to start out with Arizona. So there aren't a ton of polls for the Republicans, not as many as there have been in other states, but there are certainly a lot more polls for Arizona on the Republican side than there were for the Democrats. So I think that you can make a better educated guess on this side than you can for the Democrats. And the really interesting thing about Arizona for the Republicans is that Arizona is a winner take all state. So whoever wins the majority vote in Arizona will get all of its delegates, which I believe is 58. So basically, I mean, 58 isn't a ton. It's not Florida. It's not, California, Texas. It's not one of those really big states, but it's still, it's a winner take all state. It's more than half of what John Kasich got with the winner take all state of Ohio, but still, it's not really close to the same amount as Ohio or Florida. But whoever wins it gets all the delegates, and that's important no matter what state it is. So, and then I mean, if whoever wins it, it doesn't matter. Even if Utah was also a winner take all state, whoever wins Arizona will get the majority of the delegates on the Republican side. So that makes it really interesting. So then you look at those polls, and it looks pretty clear. I would say that Trump should win, unless there's a major flaw with those polls, all of those polls for some reason, because he's winning by double digits, and I believe he was winning in double digits in every single one. So it seems like a pretty safe bet that he's going to win by double digits. I expect him to win by more than 10. Doesn't really matter how much he wins by, because he will almost certainly win Arizona, and that means he will get all of Arizona's delegates. And so, yeah, that's what I expect to happen. I'd be pretty surprised if Trump doesn't win Arizona. And so, yeah, he should get all of Arizona's delegates today. And so, yeah, I guess I'll just move on to Utah then. That's all I really need to say about that. So Utah is also a caucus on the Republican side, and as you just saw in the most recent polls, the last two recent polls have Cruz winning pretty easily, with over 40% in each. The most recent poll has him with over 50% of the vote. So it is a caucus. They're a little less reliable in polling, but it seems pretty clear Cruz should almost certainly win Utah. I think the those polls seem pretty clear. I don't know any reason to believe that they would be that far off. Uh, there are still people not taken into account entirely, um, but I mean it adds up to just around 90%. So it's pretty, you're not going to get too much of a swing. He's winning by over 20 points in that poll. It's pretty unlikely that there'd be that big of a swing. It'd be a pretty big upset for him not to win. So, again, this one seems pretty much set. Uh, yeah, and I guess basically I'll just go on and talk about the impact that today will probably have on the Republican side. I think you're going to have a big win for Trump and a big win for Cruz. All in all, Trump's going to be the winner because he is almost definitely going to get the most delegates, because as long as he wins Arizona, he will win the most delegates today, because there are only 2 states voting, and Arizona is a winner-take-all state where if Trump wins there, he gets all the delegates, and Arizona has more delegates than Utah. So even if Cruz won 100% of the vote in Utah, Trump would still get more delegates. So what I'm expecting is a win for Trump. It's not going to ensure him the nomination or anything, although he is getting closer. But Cruz is going to win Utah. There's going to be more pressure on John Kasich to step out of the race. And it should be interesting. Not going to be interesting in terms of like really being surprised in who's going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if both of these races are called pretty early. They don't seem like they're going to be that close. But it should be interesting to see what the narrative is coming out of today, especially from the Trump people, because they're getting just closer and closer to having the nomination locked up. So yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at on the Republican side, what my predictions are, how I think it impacts the race, and I guess just comment down below, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.